Tonight, hundreds in the Northwest Territories forced to run from an explosive wildfire.
Oh my God!
A community under evacuation and the fight now to save their homes. CBC News is in Ukraine, in a city under threat, forcing schools underground.
These children also receive lessons in security, such as what to do during an air raid siren.
And it's the last domestic budget airline standing in Canada. Is Flair going to be around in a year's time? Flair's retiring CEO on what needs to change for more competition to take off.
From CBC News, this is The National with Ian Hennemensing.
We begin with an emergency unfolding in the Northwest Territories, where the remote community of Fort Good Hope is under an evacuation order, and those staying behind are fighting to save their land under dangerous circumstances. For the hundreds forced to leave, the only way out was by boat or plane, all as smoke moved in on the horizon and flames moved ever closer to the community. This wildfire is situated about 800 kilometers northwest of Yellowknife, now burning on the edge of the town of Fort Good Hope. Lisa Shing now with what those who escaped had to endure and the work being done to get them home safe.
Oh my God! It got worse.
A startling sight as wildfire threatens their community.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. I started getting scared as it was getting bigger.
Speaking from a nearby fishing camp where she and about 150 others fled, Thelma Toback, a lifelong resident of Fort Good Hope, says she imagined the worst when she saw the smoke.
It was heartbreaking, not knowing what it could reach our homes, because my house is right around where the fire was. I thought I was going to lose my home.
But as of Sunday afternoon, officials say no structures have been damaged, though flames have reached the edge of the community. Authorities suspect the blaze started from an abandoned campfire, growing quickly to at least 200 hectares. More than 300 residents forced to evacuate, some by boat, the majority by plane to the town of Norman Wells.
There is a room with cots and blankets set up. Also, everyone was greeted with hot meals last night. The level of community care happening in those communities is really fantastic.
Canada's emergency preparedness minister says the territory is currently tackling firefighting efforts, and the federal government is ready to help the displaced.
We're looking at if Northwest Territories has enough support for the evacuees, and our teams are working together to see if any more is actually going to be needed there.
Now, the remaining emergency responders in Fort Good Hope will focus on keeping the fire under control, using air tankers, helicopters, and crews on the ground.
The work is going to continue by the team there to get more structure protection set up to keep that community safe and to patrol around the community to find additional hotspots.
Oh my God! Look at that fire!
Oh my God!
You could see it.
If and when residents can return is still unclear. With no rain forecasted for the next 72 hours, crews are expecting some long days ahead. Lisa Shing, CBC News, Toronto.
South of the border, fast-moving wildfires forcing evacuations near Los Angeles. This video was taken today northwest of the city as crews tried to bring the flames under control. Authorities say around 1,200 people have been forced out of the area. So far, no structures have been destroyed, but an auto body shop was badly damaged. And as fires burn in the west, people across the Midwest and northeastern U.S. are being warned of dangerously hot conditions coming this week. The National Weather Service says this could be the longest heat wave in decades for some regions, with warnings extending to Saturday. And millions of people in Ontario and Quebec also bracing for dangerously high temperatures this week. Take a look at the heat warnings and special weather statements in effect tonight. Environment Canada says it could feel like up to 45 degrees in some areas. Those hot temperatures are expected to start tomorrow and could last most of the week. Calgary is still facing weeks of water restrictions, and the city continues under a state of emergency more than a week after that water main break. But there is some promising news tonight. According to the mayor, yesterday residents used the least amount of water since the break. That's now been repaired, but there's still 5 other trouble spots, and those fixes are expected to take weeks. As Aaron Collins shows us, reality is setting in for residents that this is going to take a while.
A wet weekend in Calgary, good for the grass, but the city's pools far from full. A casualty of lingering water restrictions in the city. Limits put in place after a major water main broke more than 10 days ago. It was initially thought that the pipe would be fixed this week. That changed when 5 more areas needing repairs were discovered.
Repairing the damaged sections remains our top priority. Initial inspections and site prep work are already underway, and construction on those hotspots will start tomorrow.
Those new repairs on hold while parts and equipment are moved in.
Along with parts from cities across North America, the city of San Diego was able to send us a length of pipe we need to make these critical repairs. And with that, they sent a message of hope.
But once started, the fix could take more than a month. In the meantime, the city declared a state of local emergency over the weekend to help it deal with the break. And until the work is done, watering lawns is out. Calls for shorter showers and limiting laundry and dishwashing remain in.
Yesterday, your consumption hit an all-time low, and we used 438 million liters of water. That is better than what we hope to achieve.
Some Calgarians taking advantage of the soggy weekend, sharing their water conservation efforts online. And so far, it seems to be working. Saturday saw water use at its lowest level since limits were introduced. The mayor hoping that number could dip even lower this Father's Day.
Today you get a pass. No need to shower, no need to shave. We're just going to call it come as you are. It's dad style all day.
Jokes aside, that call to use less water is critical, needed to keep emergency services like firefighting up and running.
And Aaron, all of this is happening as Calgary gears up for peak tourist season.
It is, and that's why pressure is really ramping up, Ian, to get these repairs done quickly. Of course, the big concern is that the city's biggest draw for the summer tourist season is really just around the corner. Calgary Stampede kicks off in under 3 weeks.
Aaron Collins in Calgary. Police in the U.S. are searching for a motive after what they say was a random attack at a splash pad. A gunman opening fire and wounding 9 people.
When I got on scene, I started to cry because I know what a splash pad is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a place where people gather, where families make memories.
The shooting happened Saturday north of Detroit. Police say among the injured, an 8-year-old boy who was shot in the head. Authorities have identified the suspect as a 42-year-old man. They say he was later found dead. The Prime Minister has now returned from the Ukraine Peace Summit in Switzerland, Canada among the countries there, calling for an end to the threats against Ukraine's border and sovereignty. But Ashley Burke shows us, while thankful for the diplomatic support, Kiev is still waiting for Canada to deliver on a critical promise.
At this peace summit, the Prime Minister spoke out.
Are you saying Russia's committing genocide in Ukraine?
That is certainly one of the things that has been talked about.
Justin Trudeau said Russia must be held accountable for taking 20,000 Ukrainian children from their home.
Everyone can agree that taking kids away from their families, trying to erase their language, their culture, that's an element of genocide. That's pure colonialism.
Those comments at a conference where more than 90 world leaders, representatives, and organizations descended on a Swiss resort to hash out how to end the war.
Moving to peace means acting fast.
Ukraine's president wants more diplomatic buy-in to his peace plan. It demands Moscow withdraw all of its troops. But Russia's President Vladimir Putin says he will only end the war if Ukraine surrenders territory, an ultimatum Ukraine rejected. Russia was not invited to these talks.
Russian aggression has to stop.
Canada announced a new $52 million package for Ukraine, including to help displaced children, replace damaged energy equipment, and help rebuild.
We are responding to Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, not only with a full-scale defense of human life, but also with full-scale diplomacy.
Ukraine's Minister of Foreign Affairs said what his country urgently needs is weapons and air defense. Canada promised an air defense system a year and a half ago that's yet to arrive.
Of course, we wish the system was already in Ukraine because we are in a situation when every piece of air defense matters. It's an issue of death and life.
The summit came up with priorities to move forward on, including nuclear safety, food security, and called for all prisoners of war and displaced children to be returned to Ukraine. But with Russia absent at the table, there were no major advancements towards peace talks with Moscow. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Bergenstock, Switzerland.
As world leaders discuss solutions to end the war in Ukraine, CBC News was in the northeastern city of Kharkiv, which has been a constant target of Russian fire. Briar Stewart shows us the realities of life under attack.
The wailing siren has become part of the backdrop to life here in Kharkiv, which is why people simply keep walking right on by this bomb shelter. Kharkiv lies 30 kilometers from Russia, and it's now being brutally targeted. You can still smell the aftermath of the horror that unfolded here. 2 Russian bombs struck this mall on a Saturday afternoon in May, killing at least 19 people, among them friends of Konstantin Svirakov. I saw people screaming and everything was exploding, he said. It was terrible. The threat has driven some underground. Schools have moved into metro stations. This kindergarten is one of several across the city.
In addition to arts and crafts and starting to learn the basics of reading, these children also receive lessons in security, such as what to do during an air raid siren and how to identify a landmine.
For these children, the war would be some of their earliest memories.
How does it make you feel sometimes when you hear the air raid siren?
Страшно. Ну, страшно.
It's scary, she says. We always hide with my mom in the corridor, says another little girl. While the war can still feel close on the streets of Kharkiv, Ukraine's military has been able to stabilize the front in this region for now. In an undisclosed location near the city, we meet Yuri Fedorenko, a commander of a drone unit.
How worried are you about the next couple of months?
So, because the противник enemy have very good military.
Part of his unit's gear, armored personnel carriers made by a Canadian company, Rochelle.
How long have you had these Canadian vehicles?
8 months, maybe.
But he jokes they've had to fix it maybe 100 times because the vehicles have difficulty handling the country's bumpy roads. He says Ukraine is grateful for all of the help, but says it will need even more in order to try and push Russian forces back. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Kharkiv.
Israel's military says it's pausing fighting during daylight hours for the foreseeable future along a single humanitarian route to allow a backlog of aid to flow into southern Gaza. This as Muslims mark the holiday of Eid.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
They came to pray amid the ruins, the war weighing on the celebrations. I've come to Eid prayers mourning, she says. I've lost my son. The holiday is typically marked with the slaughter of an animal, the meat shared with family, friends, and the poor. A ritual simply impossible for most. There are no sacrificed animals. Now we sacrifice ourselves, said this man. We sacrifice our own bodies. An Associated Press journalist counted 9 bodies, including 5 of children arriving at one hospital, saying they were victims of an airstrike in central Gaza. Israel's newly announced pauses, expected to continue on a daily basis, but focused only on a specific humanitarian route. Much of the rest of Gaza remains under fire. In Manitoba, the long-awaited search of a landfill for the remains of 2 murdered Indigenous women is finally set to move forward. As Cameron McIntosh shows us, that revelation is providing a sense of relief for family members who have been fighting for this for well over a year.
There, somewhere within the southwest corner of Winnipeg's Prairie Green landfill, about 10 meters down,
is where the search is focusing for the remains of Morgan Harris and Mercedes Myron.
We're going to be bringing her home.
Melissa Robinson and Elle Harris are cousin and daughter to Morgan Harris. They were shown the site soon to be excavated.
They thought of her laying there for as long as she's been. It's disturbing, and it would be disturbing to anyone.
Harris, Myron, and 2 other women, Rebecca Contois and a woman identified only by this jacket, were killed 2 years ago by Jeremy Skibitsky.
I killed 4 people, okay?
He confessed to the killings and admitted to disposing dismembered remains in garbage bins. At trial, which wrapped last week, he pleaded not criminally responsible due to a mental disorder. A verdict will come next month.
We've made a significant advancement in terms of identifying where we believe the remains are.
Manitoba's premier says work conducted quietly to not interfere with the trial has narrowed down a search location, an area of 2 hectares containing an estimated 72,000 cubic meters of clay, waste, and hazardous material, about 5,100 dump trucks worth, all to be sorted by hand.
Realistically, could go into early 2026.
It comes after 17 months of protest and politics.
Search landfill!
The search even became a provincial election issue. Families, supporters, Indigenous leaders, all furious over the symbolism of Indigenous women murdered and left in the garbage.
It's been nightmares every single night.
I think of the day when we can, when we retrieve her and we have her, and then when we can bury her and allow her spirit to cross over.
Test digs will begin this month, excavation later this summer, as everyone awaits the verdict for an admitted killer. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A prominent author has made his way to New Brunswick after making a literary twist.
I want to be a Kanga too.
Dan Brown puts his latest words to music.
When I heard what Systema New Brunswick was doing, I just said, I have to see this.
Relief in Edmonton.
We want to come! We want to come!
As the Oilers give fans something to cheer about. And kids pay tribute to Dad.
Are you excited for Father's Day? No.
We're back in 2. A special royal tribute in celebration of Father's Day. The Prince and Princess of Wales posting this picture online with the caption, "We love you, Papa. Happy Father's Day." According to the royals, the photo was taken last month by Catherine. She made her first public appearance yesterday since revealing she was undergoing treatment for cancer. The Edmonton Oilers are coming off a blowout home win, forcing a Game 5 in Florida and keeping Canada's Stanley Cup hopes alive. Sam Sampson now on the renewed excitement and the daunting challenge.
The Edmonton Oilers' shot at the Stanley Cup survives another day.
We want the cup! We want the cup!
With their first victory over the Florida Panthers in the final, fans finally have something to cheer about.
I'm just happy we didn't get swept.
I was here in 2006. I think we're gonna go all the way.
I'm a Flames fan, but I'm also a fan of Canada and Canadian teams.
How you guys feeling, Edmonton?
The Queen of Canadian Country even got on board. Shania Twain performed a pre-game concert, then celebrated with the team after their home ice win. The Oilers still have quite the hole to crawl out of. The only other team that was down 3-1, then came back to win it all, was the Toronto Maple Leafs back in 1942, meaning Edmonton is looking for a comeback not seen in the NHL for 82 years.
It's just one win, and we got to go to Florida and do a job and drag them back to Alberta.
The Oilers won't be alone in Panther territory. Their fans plan to follow.
So these are the jackets.
This father and son from St. John's travel every year to see pro sports, collecting patches along the way. This year, they'll bring the uniform down south for Game 5.
It's funny to see the Edmonton stuff here. And, my son is, I'll say now, ever since they drafted McDavid, an Oiler fan, and just the tides turned and people on this side of the country, especially in this run, are fully on board.
If Edmonton can win in 7 games, they'll end a nationwide hockey drought. It's been 31 years since a Canadian team hoisted the Stanley Cup, so all eyes are on the Oilers. Sam Sampson, CBC News, Edmonton.
Dan Brown, the best-selling author of the Da Vinci Code, recently teamed up with the young musicians in New Brunswick. His new kids' book is set to music and performed around the world. But as Kayla Hounsell tells us, when he heard about this production, he says he had to see it in person.
It is called Wild Symphony, and it does indeed get pretty wild. Children performing alongside the man who composed the music they're playing and wrote the words to the picture book about wild animals.
I wish I bounced like you. I want to be a kanga too.
Dan Brown rocketed to international fame with the release of the Da Vinci Code more than 20 years ago. It is one of the best-selling novels of all time and was adapted into a major motion picture.
Da Vinci.
Brown says leaving the intricate world of a mystery thriller to write a children's book was a palate cleanser.
My warmest memories as a kid was reading a children's book, a picture book, and listening to my mom's classical record collection.
He made the trip to New Brunswick to read with the Sistema New Brunswick Children's Orchestra.
I don't often go to these concerts. Wild Symphony's performed all over the world, but when I heard what Sistema New Brunswick was doing, I just said, I have to see this.
Sistema is a free music program that focuses on children who may otherwise be disadvantaged. They're required to practice for 3 hours a day, 5 days a week.
We focus on intensity, and they're getting into the largest music schools in Canada with the top scholarships. Or others are going into other professions, astrophysics and social work.
11-year-old Leon Wagarachi has been playing the trumpet for 3 years.
It was really special to play in front of a best-selling author. It was really cool to see him in real life, too.
Croakers, peepers, happy frogs.
Brown says by using music to create social change, Sistema has really cracked the code to something special.
When you see somebody on TV, that's somebody who practice and practice and practice, whatever they're doing. If it's kicking a soccer ball, playing a violin, that's what it takes.
A message he hopes encourages the children to do their best, no matter the performance. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, St. Andrews by the Sea, New Brunswick.
Canada's only domestic budget airline maintains it's here to stay, but says its competition tried to push them out.
It's not in the interest of the big boys, Air Canada and WestJet, for Flair to survive.
I sit down with the outgoing CEO of Flair Airlines, who says the industry needs to change. And their new questions surrounding a Toronto Police Service board member. A CBC News investigation reveals some employees at her company may be misrepresented.
That certainly seems at least to have the potential to mislead the public.
The National breaks down the stories shaping our world. Next. There are calls for an official apology to survivors of a federal program that for decades paid non-Indigenous families to house Indigenous children. And many of those kids were abused. As Olivia Stefanovic tells us, while compensation is coming, some say there's more the government needs to do.
So what I'm trying to finish off is the footprint.
It's taken Reginald Percival more than 60 years.
So what I've got here is a moon.
To reconnect to his roots.
It's ingrained in our brains, and we were told that to be a good Indian, you had to forget about your culture, you had to forget about your language. That's me. I believe I was 16, 17 years old.
Percival was one of 40,000 Indigenous children removed from their families to attend school from the 1950s and early 1990s under the federal Indian boarding home program.
I never went home again after that.
Like many others, Percival faced neglect and abuse at the hands of families. The federal government paid to care for him.
And they grab you by the hair and they kick you around and slam you against the wall and kick you up on the back. That's not a good memory, and that did affect me.
Now, this suffering is being recognized and compensated in a multi-billion-dollar settlement with Ottawa approved by the federal court.
It's about coming to the right place.
Boarding home survivors are eligible for $10,000 to $200,000 each. Still, the government isn't planning to apologize.
Although we cannot repair the past, we can definitely set the record straight and support families and survivors.
If you abuse this child,
But Percival says an apology is overdue.
The Prime Minister of Canada has an obligation to say, I'm sorry for what happened, because some of us never made it home.
With the number of survivors dwindling each year, there's an urgency.
Survivors, stay strong.
After all, it's that strength that brought them this far. Olivia Stefanovich, CBC News, Ottawa.
Now it's time to dig deeper into the news shaping our world. A CBC News investigation uncovers a Toronto Police Service board member may have misrepresented employees at the company she ran using stock images and fake online profiles. But first, the challenges facing Canada's airline industry.
I arrived at the airport about an hour and a half before my flight, and it got delayed another 2 hours.
The retiring head of Flair says part of the answer is more competition from smaller carriers like his, but it won't be easy.
It's a tough game. There's lots of airlines that start and fail.
Stephen Jones is stepping down after nearly 4 years with the budget airline. He joined me to talk about the future of Flair and the changes he thinks Canada's airline industry desperately needs. How tough is it for Flair or another airline to take on the big two?
So it's a really tough game. It's a tough industry globally, but certainly here in Canada, the industry's been dominated by the two big players for decades now, and so to come in and disrupt that in the way that Flair has, it's not easy work. It's a really tough ask, but we believe that it was required. We think that Canadians were paying too much for too long, and so we needed to come in and disrupt it. And I think we've done that. I think we've now got to the point where Canadians are enjoying lower airfares, not just on our flights, but because we're in the market, it's forced everyone else to bring their prices down as well. So. But it's not an easy game.
So the Competition Bureau of Canada is doing a market study, and one of the things they want to look into is how to make the industry more competitive. So ultimately, what would you say to the Government of Canada? What should it do to allow Flair, for example, to thrive and to allow other airlines to come in and take on Air Canada and WestJet?
Yeah, so there are a few things I think that I would point to. The first is actually the existence of Flair is a consequence of government policy, though in 2018 they opened up the foreign ownership rules to allow higher levels of foreign ownership. So at the moment, any non-Canadian can own up to 25% of an airline in Canada, and non-Canadians in aggregate can own up to 49%. I think I would start by removing the rule around the 25% and just say, doesn't matter whether it's one non-Canadian or 10 non-Canadians, it's a 49% limit for non-Canadians because that opens up the pool of investment. Starting up an airline is expensive. You know, they're expensive assets, it's hard to actually build your network, build your brand, so it's an expensive job. And we need access to some of the foreign capital. Canadian capital pools are a little bit more risk averse. So that would be one thing, would be opening up the foreign ownership rules a little more. I think there is something wrong with the airport charging system and the costs in the system. We operate in the leisure part of the market, and so that's really price sensitive. We put up our prices by $1 and someone else sits on the couch. You know, it's really, really sensitive. And this is an expensive system.
So you would like then to change the foreign ownership rules so that a single owner from another country up to 49%, right? You would like to see the airport fees reduced. What about the actual competition practices of, let's say, WestJet or Air Canada? What's that been like for you?
So that's been very aggressive at times. I think the It's not in the interest of the big boys, what we call Big Air Canada and WestJet, for Flair to survive, for there to be a lot of competition. And so they've used different tools. I mean, the classic one was WestJet created Swoop. So Swoop wasn't created to foster competition. Swoop was created to quell competition. It was a deliberate tool in the WestJet portfolio that they used to chase us around the market.
So that's, potentially provocative statement. What would WestJet say if I quoted that to them?
Look, I think we could just, I'm sure they'd deny it. Of course they would. It's what they do. And it's what airlines do to each other. They will, they'll compete in whatever way they can. But the example would be, we started a flight from Edmonton to Comox, so not a very common route. We started that route, and within a month, Swoop had started that same route on the same days at the same time as us. We ultimately couldn't survive there. We left, and then Swoop left. So that's the example of the sorts of behaviour. How do you change that? I think we need a mechanism somehow that acts faster, because by the time we've lodged a complaint and gone through and gathered the evidence, the game's over. We've come out of that route. So we need some faster feedback on the predatory behaviour.
So let's talk a little bit about Flair. I host a call-in program on CBC Radio, and this month we did something about competition airlines. We had somebody call up and say how much they loved Flair, and they fly it out of Kitchener-Waterloo, and they love the prices. That wasn't a plant by you guys, was it, that caller?
No, I don't think there was an employee.
But at the same time, you do a quick Google search of Flair. Maybe this is true of all the airlines, but you see horror stories from passengers who talk about flights that have been delayed so long that in one case a woman, I think, missed a wedding that she was going to. What do you say when you see stories like that?
So, firstly, there are a lot of people that love Flair. I fly on us a lot, and the aircraft are full. So, there's a lot of people that do complain, but there's also a lot of quiet people that actually love Flair. But that said, we're far from perfect. This is a startup airline. It's a tough game. We've got a relatively small fleet, so our ability to recapture and the opportunity once a flight has been disrupted is less. And so I would apologise firstly to all of the people who have been disrupted, and to people who have missed events because of us. I would apologise for that. But I do think that it is an industry problem. We've had the best on-time performance regularly in Canada. We've got the best completion rate in Canada, and so it's not like...
completion rate means?
Completion rate is the number of flights that you actually fly versus those that you scheduled. So it's a measure of the cancellation rate, I guess the inverse of the cancellation rate. And we've got the best completion rate of any airline in Canada. We just don't have as much opportunity to recapture and fix up the problems when they go wrong.
So as you step down as the head of Flair, this is your opportunity to give us a state of the airline report. How is Flair doing?
So I think Flair's in the best shape it's ever been in. I think we're going into a summer where we're going to have really strong loads. We're lucky in the airline industry, we can see forward sales, so we're always booking ahead, or people are always booking ahead. So as we look at the summer today, we're seeing really strong fares, we're seeing strong demand on most of our key routes. We've got very high ancillary revenues, so our business model is to have very low headline fares, fill the aircraft up, and then sell ancillary products as people choose to.
So what would that be, for example?
A seat, a bag, a bundle, priority boarding, flexibility, insurance, cars. So all of those choices that people make over and above the basic seat. And we've got incredibly strong ancillary revenue, so amongst the top airlines in the world. So I think the business is in great shape.
But again, speaking of the Google search, the headlines, there's a story of 4 of the planes being repossessed, of a pause being put on expansion plans. We saw Lynx shut down, Discount Airline. I mean, some people are worried about Flair. You know, like, well, is Flair going to be around in a year's time?
It absolutely is. Look, I'm not pretending it's been an easy ride. The lease terminations we think were unlawful. We immediately sued the people that did that, and that's working its way through the courts now. Lynx was a good airline. They had the same purpose as us. The purpose is to make travel affordable to all Canadians, and they shared that same purpose with us. They were a little bit smaller than us and a little bit later to the game, and so unfortunately they didn't make it. But the purpose was the same. So So yeah, it hasn't been without its problems. This is a tough game. It's a tough game. There's lots of airlines that start and fail, but Flair's not going to. Flair's now got a solid platform. The brand is well known in Canada, and yeah, I think we're in great shape.
And let's finish with this, maybe a wider look as an insider in the industry. What should we as Canadians expect to see, do you think, in the airline industry over, I mean, pick your time frame, the next year or two?
Look, I'd go out even further than that and go 10 years out and say, you know, what is this going to look like 10 years from now? I think, to me, there are two things that are certain. Number one is that Air Canada is still going to be around. I think they're a great airline. I think they serve a different part of the market to us. They're a global network carrier, corporate, business, government. And the other thing I think is certain is that there will be a strong, large carrier serving the leisure market. I think you have to pick a track, you know, pick a lane. And our lane is low-cost leisure. And I think Air Canada's lane is full service, we're low-cost leisure. I think if you find yourself in the middle, it's a very difficult place to be. You have to know who you are and be very pure to that and stick to it. It guides all of your decision making. So I think we're going to see a segregation out. I think we're going to see a larger leisure carrier, and I believe that's going to be Flair. I think Air Canada will continue to carry the flag.
We did ask WestJet about Jones's allegations of predatory conduct. WestJet didn't answer directly, telling us, quote, "We've never gone on the record to refute the commentary of a competitor." A CBC News investigation into a Toronto firm reveals employees may not be who they appear to be. That story's next. A new development to a CBC News investigation probing a Toronto Police Service board member whose company, Brand EQ, received more than $1 million in grants from a charity she headed. New revelations: Nadine Spencer may have misrepresented her firm for years with employees who don't seem to exist.
It seems at least to have the potential to mislead the public.
Spencer denies inventing employees. Sarah McMillan now on what the CBC News investigation uncovered.
She says she's a graduate of Ivy League Columbia University, a marketing expert, a former senior global executive at Nestle. But despite her online presence, Mary Ellen Steinem might not actually exist. Images on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, all stock photos. For more than a decade, she apparently worked as COO of Toronto-based marketing company Brand EQ, and on social media would cheer on her boss, Brand EQ CEO Nadine Spencer. Toronto's Nadine Spencer has run Brand EQ for more than a decade, and since last year has sat on Toronto's Police Services Board. Mary Ellen Steinem is just one example we found on Brand EQ's website over the years of employees who appear to be fabricated, or at the very least, misrepresented. Steinem's LinkedIn page says she's lived in New York for the last 3 decades, but personal record searches turned up 0 results for her in New York State or anywhere in the U.S. There are no property records, phone numbers, voter registration, utility bills, or any other records in her name. We brought what we found to a number of marketing experts and business professors who say misrepresenting company employees is not normal industry practice.
That certainly seems at least to have the potential to mislead the public, to mislead potential business partners, potential clients.
Along with Steinem, there's also someone called Lawrence Lightman, for years the client liaison. The photo used to represent him is of a real person, but not a Brand EQ employee. It's actually a doctor in Australia named James Churchill. We located Dr. Churchill, who confirmed to us in an email that it is a photo of him and that he has never had contact with Brand EQ, let alone ever worked there. Through her lawyer, Spencer categorically denied that Steinem and Lightman are fabricated. She declined to provide any evidence they exist, citing confidential employee information, and did not answer our repeated questions about why they were represented using stock images and a photo of a real doctor with no connection to the company. Spencer said the part of the website where they appeared until recently was archival content and not meant for public view, though we found both photos were used on the site since 2013. They were taken down after we contacted Spencer in the last 2 weeks. Then there's this photo, which was used to represent a senior company employee since 2020. It's actually a photo of a U.S. fashion designer. In that case, Spencer said the website page was under construction and was using template content. She didn't answer our question about why the photo was used for more than 3.5 years. Spencer noted she stepped aside from leading her company for 2 years while she served as CEO of the Black Business and Professional Association, a Toronto-based charity. Her lawyer said in a statement to us that the issues we raised happened when Brand EQ was managed by other individuals. However, all the photos and employees we asked her about were on the site before she stepped aside temporarily in 2021. I spoke with marketing professor Ronica Alawalia, who says there can be a temptation for small businesses to try to make themselves seem bigger than they really are. But she says company owners need to make ethical decisions, to be honest and transparent.
And saying, okay, this is where I draw the line. If we are two people, I'm happy to showcase what we bring to the table rather than showcasing a great lineup of legendary celebrity team members to boast of.
Nadine Spencer is one of 7 people on Toronto's Police Service Board, in charge of overseeing the budget and operation of the country's largest municipal police service. The Provincial Code of Conduct says police board members shall not conduct themselves in a manner that undermines or is likely to undermine the public's trust in the Police Service Board or the police service. Alok Mukherjee is a former chair of the board. Speaking generally, he said public perception is always key.
Every police service board has to be very, very attentive to its reputation and its credibility. And to that end, it has to be proactive.
The City of Toronto website's profile of Spencer describes her company as a leading global agency. The city did not answer our questions about whether it ever verified those claims or if it's concerned that a board member may have misrepresented the scale of her business. A representative for the police board told us that any code of conduct investigation would be handled by the province's Inspector General of Policing, should a formal complaint be made.
CBC News asked the City of Toronto about the vetting process for board members. In a statement, a spokesperson says a committee made up of city councillors reviews applications and interviews candidates before making recommendations to the city. Next, kids in Newfoundland show love to Dad.
What kind of presents did you get him?
Blue and red.
Their Father's Day message in our moment. Some kids in Corner Brook, Newfoundland were asked what they love about Dad ahead of Father's Day. They had a lot to say. It wasn't always about Dad. Still, their answers make our moment.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
What do you love about Poppy?
Twinkle, twinkle.
What do you love about your dad, Karu?
He's a clever. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, I'll wonder what you are.
What do you love about your dad, Lydia?
I love my dad to pick out my clothes all the time. He does brushing my hair, like this. He brushes his hair again.
Are you excited for Father's Day?
No.
What do you love about your dad?
Waiting puzzle piece.
What kind of presents did you get him?
Blue and red.
3, 2, 1.
Happy
Okay, so there's not exactly a straight line between the question and the answer, and they weren't, as I warned you, directly related to Father's Day, but awfully cute. And I think I said this last year after a similar item. It brings to mind, and only some of you will remember this, Art Linkletter and Kids Say the Darndest Things. Kids, gold, great programming. Thank you for being with us. You can watch anywhere, anytime on the free CBC News app and subscribe to the National's YouTube channel. I'm Ian Hannah Mansing in Vancouver. See you tomorrow.